starting with Bayern Munich hosting Chelsea at the Allianz. Bayern has looked like an absolute wagon, but they've been playing in Germany. Chelsea has looked pretty good, except for they super choked that game at the end over the weekend. Chelsea's defense isn't good. Guendouzi has been playing a bunch of offense lately, which is kind of strange. Enzo Fernandez is another guy who likes to get forward.
Wait, hold on. Did you just mix up haircuts and you said Guendouzi instead of Cucurella?
I did. Yeah, my bad. I meant Cucurella. Yeah,
I don't think any Lazio players are playing on during
Guendouzi's
midweek.
on Lazio, who we'll talk about later.
Great hair.
Yeah, two guys with great hair. But yeah, Cucurella has been getting forward in the offense as well as Enzo Fernandez, which leaves not a lot of guys back to defend a Bayern team that's really fucking pacey, and you're going to have a really tough time countering the likes of Harry Kane. I doubt we'll see Nicholas Jackson, but if we do, I love a Nicholas Jackson fuck you revenge goal versus his old team Chelsea. Luis Diaz has been tearing it up, coming off a red-hot international break. Serge Gnabry playing in the middle. Elise out on the wing who just jacks all day. I think Chelsea's got to be really, really fucking careful not to get caught out here because Bayern is going to play with a lot more pace and have the finishing capabilities of teams they haven't faced yet this season in the Premier League. I love goals in this one. That's why the over-under is set at 3.5. Both teams to score at -185 probably makes a nice little parlay piece. I like goal in both halves for Bayern for sure. But yeah, at home at the Allianz, Bayern Munich's got to win this game. You're getting Harry Kane for an anytime goal at -120 to +100, which is, you're not going to see that outside of Champions League. He's -380 to score in Bundesliga. So there's some really, really good props here on everybody's front four. I think there's a lot of goals here.
Yeah. I tend to agree. I would say it's a 5-6 goal game, or it's like a 0-goal game, right? It's that Chelsea masterclass, treat it like a final. Somehow Bayern doesn't get a goal despite a 5 XG. That's the only other alternative. I don't see this in the 1, 2, 3 goal range. So I wouldn't mind playing the over 3.5. I think we have to remember last year too, the group stage was just on fire with goals. Seemed like every single game, regardless of opponent, regardless of venue, every game overs were hitting. So I hope that we see that in this one. This is kind of baiting me to take Chelsea on the Asian handicap. For some reason, I just think they get up for this game. They're going to try to not get embarrassed. I'm not saying they win. I'm not saying they win away from home, but even +1, I think, is -130. I'm close. I'm not there yet, but I'm really close.
Anytime I see this matchup, I just think about how much Bayern hates Chelsea because they robbed them of Champions League. And I feel like I can see it on the field because they do just beat the shit out of these guys anytime they can. The last 2 games I think they played, there was a 5-goal aggregate, and Chelsea had 0. Bayern, again, I'm not a big fan of Company. I don't think it's that hard to coach in the Bundesliga. But also, if you gave me that Bayern roster, it'd be pretty hard to do a bad job with it. I love goals in this one. I think 3.5 is kind of lowballing it.
Agree.
I would hate to get the good old jinx of all of us say, there's going to be 6 goals in this, and then there's none. It is at the Allianz. I find it very hard to believe that Chelsea's going to go in there and get any type of result at all. I will now pray for Nick's spread if he does end up pulling the trigger. But if you want to go Harry Kane win cast, guys, you're not really going to get too many options at better numbers until the knockouts.
That's fair. And I would just mention the only real game in groups last year where Bayern struggled at home was that weird game versus Celtic where Schmeichel was just absolutely standing on his head. That was a big kind of get in or get out game there for Celtic. So it was an impressive performance, and Bayern was already through. So they might have been a little bit lackluster there. But yeah, I have a hard time seeing very many clubs before knockout stages going on the road and getting a dub in the Allianz. That doesn't mean that the spread isn't live. I just think it's going to be really hard. I wouldn't get involved in Chelsea on the money line. That Asian handicap, though, definitely not a bad look, especially if we're seeing a really back and forth game, like a 3-2 or something like that, would right into Nick's Asian handicap.
Everything you guys are saying about Bayern is 100% correct, and they're the better team and they're at home. It's just every time Chelsea's been underestimated to this level, they've shown up, at least in the past year and a half.
Facts. And if this does somehow stay a low-scoring game, it plays right into that Asian handicap because we think the game will be close if there is a lack of goals there. So let's keep it moving. Still on Wednesday. Jumping back over to England, we have Liverpool taking on Atleti. I talked about how Atleti blows away from home. I don't have a lot of confidence in Atleti. I don't know what people have been seeing out of Pool that gives them a ton of confidence. You know, Pool went out and spent a shit ton of money. Pool is going to be a very good and extremely dangerous club later in the season. Once these guys get some more practice together, once Isak's fully game fit and starting a lot more, once Wirtz kind of gets the hang of this midfield. But we're seeing that Liverpool's struggling to make all of these big, expensive pieces they got fit together right away. Is this a chance for a Spanish club to catch them sleeping in England?
100%. I feel like this number is disrespectful as hell. I've seen absolutely nothing from Liverpool where they should be minus 170. Anfield, very tough place to play. Liverpool, the better team by far, for sure, in almost every position except for a goalkeeper. But minus 170 and Atleti getting the +1 and a very bettable number. This looks like a Simeone, I'm going to go get a fucking tie match to me. So seeing the +1 or even an Atleti double chance at such a good number. Again, Liverpool, feel free to give me some free entertainment and prove me wrong and fucking score 3 or 4 goals. But if you only score 1 goal, that is not going to be enough against Atleti. And Simeone will go get his one. He'll put his own son in, have him cherry pick, score, and then he's parking the bus. And Anfield is going to hate it. This is going to be the most Spanish-Italian fucking soccer you've ever seen.
I wish I could pull it up cleanly, but Google's not allowing me to do that. I'm just looking. I'm remembering how Liverpool performed last year in Champions League, and now I'm looking at some of their results. The under is just like screaming at me at plus money. Even their wins, 2-0 wins, 1-0 win. I think they had that one game with PSV that was like a 6-goal game, but they had a red card in that one, so they gave up 3 to PSV. PSG and the knockouts where I think both 1-0 games or 0-0 games. So Pool, like you guys said, they haven't found it yet, and they didn't really score a lot in this competition last year. So I'm kind of riding with the under here.
I like that, and that plays right into the heavy Simeone defense. I will say Julian Alvarez is a guy, his goal number is absolutely ridiculous. I'm seeing plus 270 on FanDuel right now. Shop that around. If you can get into the plus 300s, that's outrageous for the guy who's probably going to be in charge of scoring the goal here. If Atleti get one, the other option is Sorloth, and that's a very similar number. Not very high on Griezmann, and he hasn't been playing a whole ton here for Atleti. So I would just kind of focus on Alvarez and Sorloth. But yeah, I'm with you guys. I think this could be a pretty tactical, low-scoring one. And like I said, Liverpool's just having trouble fitting all the pieces together. And you're taking on a guy in Simeone who just knows what it takes. Go on the road and get a draw. If you get a draw here and you're at Atleti, that's a win. You're going home with a single point here. That keeps you in line for the group stages. That's going to make the rest of your tournament a lot easier.
You're like making me want to like build a play for this game. See if I could build something stupid.
Gakpo shot on target. Julian Alvarez shot on target outside the box. Szoboszlai shot attempt if he starts it right back again.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Before we keep it moving from Liverpool, VVD, if his to take a single shot numbers anywhere around like minus 120 or better, I'm going to take that because Liverpool is going to get corners and he's the biggest target guy there is.
Atleti plus 1.5, under 3.5, minus 110.
I like that. Let's keep it moving. We're jumping over to Paris, where we have PSG hosting Atalanta. PSG is a little bit banged up right now. They had Doye and I believe Dembele get hurt in international break for them. So it's going to be a pretty heavy Special K and Bradley Barcola show. What's up?
Apparently Special K might be doubtful. He has a calf injury.
Oh, did he get injured over the weekend too?
I don't know if he's fully fit. I mean, he could still play.
He scored over the weekends.
Yeah, I think he got subbed off.
Okay, for sure. So yeah, a lot of injuries here going for PSG. It might be, Special K is obviously questionable here. So we'll probably get a pretty heavy dose of Bradley Barcola, who is still really good. Kenyon Lee, who is still pretty good, and a nice piece there. Giancarlo Ramos, who is a guy that's still got some stuff to prove from me coming over from Benfica. But this midfield is absolutely nasty. You got Fabian Ruiz, Hakimi, Neves, Zaire Emery. I think it's still going to be really tough for an Atalanta team that hasn't looked super impressive, wasn't able to move Lookman. So I have no idea what's going on with Ademola Lookman there. I don't even know if he's going to make the roster for.
He'll be going to Turkey soon. Because that's what happens to all players that hold out
for Champions League. And it's not even that Lookman's like holding out. They've gotten some offers for him, but they're asking for like 30 million, which isn't an insane number, but like just refused to trade him to Inter, which, whatever, same league kind of deal. But yeah,
I think he failed his physical. I'm almost positive he failed his physical.
Okay. So yeah, there's been some strange stuff going on with Lookman there. I will say I am a huge Samacha guy. I'm unapologetic. I like Samacha to be able to get us a goal here. Anytime goals plus 370, shop that around. If you can get plus 400. Yep. Yeah, I mean, Samacha, he's a striker. He's very rarely going to assist. I think he's had like 5 assists in that year where he bagged 20 goals for Sassuolo. But Samacha, very strong in front of net, getting the 6-yard box, can play with his back to goal, knows how to find the net, knows how to finish, can score from distance as well. Should have scored the other day. Rocked the woodwork, really pissed me off there. But yeah, give me Samacha. I like both teams to score here at minus 135. And I would just caution anybody who sees PSG as returning champs and is trying to auto bet them, like, no, go check out their injury sheet. They might have 4 or 5 starters that aren't playing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, not that I think Atalanta's good. They're going to struggle. They have a new coach who nobody rates highly. They've had some squad turnover, as you said, with, Lookman being held out for whatever reason. Both teams to score was where I initially went. I actually got it at minus 125. So definitely shop around on that because you can get a decent number. But the guy that I have to go to for PSG is Bradley Barcola. Like you said, he's plus 200 to score. The dude has been absolutely on fire. I think that's a really, really generous number.
I've been a Barcola guy.
No.
João Neves shots for me. If I'm not already on all the Barcola props, I am one of those people that thinks PSG is going to come in and handle business because I think Atalanta sucks. Especially if you're not going to play Lookman, then it's kind of – and Samacha, I know he left the Italian team because he got hurt. He's supposed to come back, I think, mid or late September.
Yeah.
It's the 15th right now. So, like, does this count? Are we good? Because I haven't heard an update about him for about a week. But outside of him, I don't know who's scoring if Lookman and Samacha are both not playing for Atalanta. If he is playing, I take it all back. One of my favorite Italian strikers. But I still think PSG is good for at least 2 or 3 at home. Barcola, Giancarlo Ramos. Special K apparently is going to be back for this one, but he did get subbed out for discomfort. They did a test on him. Nothing's going to get hurt worse. He might be in some pain, but they don't care. We're trying to protect the title here. So PSG -1 for me. I am willing to auto bet it. Yeah. Atalanta, hopefully you get 1 for the boys here. But if I don't see Lookman or Samacha in the starting 11, I lose all faith in them.
I guarantee you can find a better number than this if you shop around. But Bellanova to take a single shot is -135 on FanDuel. Bellanova, I like for a single shot, anything close to plus money. I'd even play that -135 I'm seeing. Bellanova to take 2 shots, I'm going to ladder that. Him and Zappacosta are the two guys on the wing that'll be jacking up there. Zappacosta is minus 220 to take a single shot, so not as much value there. But Bellanova for a single shot at minus 135. Like I said, shop that round. You'll probably be able to find a plus number. That's absolutely ridiculous. He's had a single shot in the first two matches because I bet him. He was like plus 125. I think I texted Nixon Leg one week, and then he was plus 100 the week after. Had two shots in both games that was like over plus 500. So don't sleep on this Atalanta midfield. If their offense isn't working, they're going to have to do something. People are going to jack just to try and get on the board here and save a little self-respect away in Paris.
Pasalic should be jacking.
Respectfully, Kristovic, if you're starting up front, dog, like Atalanta, what are we doing?
Lecce's finest.
That does make me want to ask Nick a question. Is Pasalic going to have a good year since he had a shit year last year? Is he going to have a good year this year?
He's incapable of having a good year, but he will most certainly get the ball and ruin any attack that they have going. If you're looking at somebody to hit like the 15th row in the stands, he's your guy.
We outside.